Hey, what's up guys? So we're going to be talking about how to check for consistency in your deck. So first, after you've made your deck, you're going to want to check for consistency because you don't want to draw into dead hands and cards that are conjunctional, which require other cards in order to be activated. Duality is a great card, and that's why I got my smiley face duality here, to help add consistency to decks that require certain cards that work well with each other or need each other. For example, Destiny Hero, any of the Destiny Heroes, Destiny Draw is a great card. So in order to get either the D Hero or the Destiny Draw, you want to be able to, get those cards that you need. So Duality is a great card to do that. That's why there's a smiley face Duality. So after you've got your deck made, and I have one made already, you're going to want to check for consistency. And you can do this by basically shuffling your deck. And after you've got your whole deck shuffled, what you want to do is take 6 cards. So just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can decide for yourself, is that a good hand? And you don't need to shuffle these cards back. So I would say these cards right here, this draw would be a good hand. So I'm going to put it in this pile right here. And I'm going to go through 6 more cards. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I think that's okay because Card Trooper allows me to solve a summon. I have an allure if I need to allure this away, and I have my mill, and I have Call the Hunter to get back Card Trooper if Card Trooper does die, and I get to draw another card. So I think that would be another good hand, so I'm going to put it in this pile over here. And we'll do it once again. I'm just going to go through this whole deck, and then you can basically see how it works. Now this hand, I would say it is okay. I mean, you have Charge Life Gate, you have Bottomless, so you have Protection plus a monster you can summon, and a bigger monster later on. And we're going to go through it one more time. And we have Call the Haunted, and Sangan. Anytime we open a tour guide plus like Sangan, it's kind of unfortunate because I like to usually tour guide into Sangan. However, this card I will say it's a mediocre hand, so I'm going to put it in a pile below. Then we'll go through one more time. And 6, and we have Solar Recharge plus Lila, so I would consider that a good hand. So we're going to put that in the good pile. And Darkhold, Duality, Torrential, that's a pretty good hand as well, so I will consider that a good hand. So we'll put this in the good pile. And then this is the end of the deck, so there's only 4 cards, although I would say if you did get those 4, pretty much plus whatever 2 cards you drew into would be good. So I would say, so far, as far as consistency, there'd be out of 6 essentially seven draws, only one of them would be mediocre. And we just do this again. So basically, we'll do it real quick one more time, just so you guys get an idea of how it works. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and this hand's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still mediocre. So I would consider this in the middle. But let's say you got a bad hand, like let's say you drew something like this. I mean, I guess Honest is okay. Something where you just don't have any summons at all. I mean, I guess you can summon Honest, but like that's not very good. So you open up like triple Call of Haunted. Where's another Call of Haunted? I think I played the triple call in here. Where's the other one? It's hiding. Okay, so let's say you open up triple call. Well, yeah. Let's just say you had that, and you drew into another card you couldn't use, like Solar Recharge. So, or realistically, whatever happens, you have these 6 cards. Since that would be considered a not so good hand, you'd put that in the bottom pile. So let's say you have that's 6 cards. These are 6 cards. These are 6 cards, and these are 6 cards. So depending on how big your deck is, you also have to factor that in, because you'll have different amounts of hands, because basically in a 40 card deck, which is usually what I play, you're going to have around, it's basically 7 each time, so you'll have it out of 7. So out of this we have a total of, let's say 6 draws. So out of 6 draws you'd have 4 good hands, 1 mediocre hand, and 1 not so good hand. So you can kind of use this to check for consistency in your deck, and that definitely does help out, because sometimes when you make a deck, like cards that are conjunctional, for example, will be Solar Recharge plus a Lightsworn, because those are cards that, like, Solar Recharge does nothing on its own, although Raikou is still okay on its own. That's just something. That's just one example where one card is conjunctional with another card. A 2-card conjunctional is something like Destiny Hero Malicious plus Destiny Draw, because Destiny Draw doesn't do anything unless you have something, and Malicious is terrible unless you have D-Draw, unless you're going to tribute for Malicious, which rarely does happen, but, it can happen. At the end of the day, those are just 2 examples of conjunctional cards which require, like, this is just like this card works on its own is what I'm trying to say, and this card requires another card. So Raikou works standalone, Solar Recharge requires something else, and like Malicious requires that specific card, essentially. And that's just basically how you can check for consistency in your deck. But that's just a quick example. There's a whole bunch of other ways you can check for consistency. Like, for example, say you're playing a Solar Recharge. Maybe, you want to check for consistency with just the Solar Recharge target. So currently I have two Raikous and 3 Lila, as well as a Charge Light Brigade. So if you're saying, oh, I don't have enough targets for my Solar Recharge, maybe you want to add, let's say, for example, Jane over here. You can activate Reinforcement Army. That's also another great card. But keep in mind, you can mill Reinforcement in the Army rather than just running another Lightsworn name, and that way you can get more monsters in the graveyard rather than having the chance to mill a Reinforcement in the Army when you could have just ran an extra Lightsworn, if that makes sense to you guys. And another thing is, like, for example, like, Charge Light Brigade or Reinforced Army do count as basically another target for Solar Recharge. But keep in mind, when Thunder King's on the field, you won't be able to use this, unfortunately, or Reinforcement in the Army. So let's say that you wanted more consistency with more Lightsworns. Like, you keep on drawing Solar Recharges, but you're not drawing Lightsworns. So you can go ahead and grab all your Lightsworns, all the targets with Solar Recharge. And currently you see, oh, there should be another Raikou. Let's see, where is that Raikou hiding? Okay, there it is. So, you have Raikou right there. So, you can think to yourself, you have 5 targets. But actually, you have 6 targets. Because Charged Light Brigade isn't a Lightsworn, but it is a card that can search out a Lightsworn so you can activate Solar Recharge. So, essentially, we're running 3 Solar Recharges and we have 6 targets. So, that's another way that you can factor in consistency. Another way is, like, for example, Dark Armed. Dark Armed requires, 3 darks, so we'll pull all the darks aside, and there's actually no Tragodia in here, because I didn't have room. I wanted to try it out with traps, but I'm just testing out this deck currently, and that's why I was like, hey, I'll make a video and show you guys how I do it. So, that's weird, that's all the darks I run? Okay, there's another tour guide. So yeah, as far as consistency, as far as darks, you'll notice I don't have that many. But remember, Tour Guide to Sangan into Tour Guide is another dark. So basically what you can consider is, I'm sure this can get Veilered, but the thing is, I will consider Tour Guide basically 2 darks. Each Tour Guide I count as basically 2 darks in my deck. That's just how I consider it. You can consider it differently. That's just my personal experience. I can consider this card 2 darks because essentially Tour Guide goes into Sangan, and that, or Tour Guide to Tour Guide, and that puts 2 darks in the graveyard. If they Veiler it, yes, I understand you won't get the effect, but you have so many other great cards in there where if they affect Veiler, you just have like Chaos Sorcerer and stuff like that. But yeah, so basically, I mean, this is another dark. This one does require, so it's a little bit slower. So I would consider basically Tour Guide's my dark target in here, as well as Gore's, because I will have to set up, and also Chaos Sorcerer removes a dark, but it does replenish itself, so it basically just feels as 1 more dark. These are basically 2. You can even consider Sangan 2 darks, because remember, Sangan gets the effect as long as, Thunder King's not on the board, or like D-Fissure's out. But yeah, Thunder King hurts Sangan, so you won't be able to get your search. But remember, Sangan can search out Tour Guide, so Sangan can count as 2 darks, Tour Guide can count as 2 darks. So the targets I have, for example, for like Allure, I have plenty of targets, because if I have Tour Guide, I probably won't Allure. I'll just go Tour Guide Sangan, and then I'll just wait for my Sangan search to get out another Tour Guide. If I have a dead Tour Guide, it works great like that. But yeah, so that's definitely a great way to check for consistency, because currently this would be basically, I would consider this 9 darks. I know it seems weird, but I would consider 9 darks. I can't factor in Allure for like the 9 darks for Allure, but I can factor in basically the 9 darks for Dark Armed, and that's enough for me. I personally think that's enough for Dark Armed to be active in a deck, because Tour Guide's pretty easy for me to draw because I have Duality, I have Allure, I have plenty of stuff to go into it. Allure, but Allure is something that maybe it's just not as great, because these are all great cards. Maybe Chaos Sorcerer is the only thing I'd say I might want to remove. But since I am also playing cards like Dimensional Alchemist, that also takes into consideration, because when you allure a great card like Tour Guide and you summon Dimensional Alchemist, you will be adding back Tour Guide. So keep all those things in mind. There's a whole bunch of other things that work and combo well with each other. Like example, Call of the Haunted to get back Sangan to search out another tour guide so I can allure it. There's so many other things that you have to take into consideration when you're making your deck. There's tons of other small other things, like Call of the Haunted. You can call the Haunted for Card Trooper. And then you can draw a card. You know, there's a lot of other ways to check for consistency. And since I'm playing triple Call of the Haunted in this deck, which I'm still currently testing, I feel like, you know, running double Card Trooper is good. I feel like I can go first turn Tour Guide into Sangan, detach Sangan when I make number 17, and then I can set Call of the Haunted, so if they want to MST me or anything, I still get to go and maintain card advantage, if that makes sense. So yeah, if this helps you guys out, let me know, and I'll be trying to make more other like ways where I actually make my decks, and I'll tell you how I basically do it, because it does help out with consistency for me, because if I'm drawing, you know, terrible as far as, like, let's say I drew 2 good hands, and then I drew... you always want your good hands to outweigh everything. If your middle hands, like, let's say, like this hand is like mediocre, for example, and then like we have 3 bad, and we have like 2 good, two middle, 2 good, and 3 bad. You don't want that to happen. You always want your like great hands where you're really satisfied with. And keep in mind, there's no right way to say if the hand is good, essentially, because everyone has different play styles and everyone plays differently. So some people might consider drawing 3 tour guide not so great, and some people will say, you know, that's not bad because, you know, I have options to put, you know, tour buses and recycle my entire engine. So depending on what your deck is, always consider that, and play it to where you think that you like the hands, and that will definitely help you out with consistency. So I hope this helps you guys out if you're building a deck and you want to check out consistency. But thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.